But I had to do this before I get in the car though.
Don't play with me, fool. I'm pull out the rack.
Pull out the rack. Bro got that rat, look. Bro got the rat now. He go dumb, but get what? That boy had pulled up in a honk machine. That boy had pulled up.
Super Disque Munzanze Magic Life. Hey, what's up, guys? Your boy's been going for a bit of a nostalgia trip. I started reconnecting to my roots and watching PSL again. Cape Town City, let's go. So I had to bust out the old gumboot hat and get my steps in. Wait. But that's what's going on with me. Aside from that, family RV channels are abusive. Going from 0 to 100 real quick, aren't we, Dino? Well, that's what happens when I get really pissed off. I've discovered a new way to emotionally abuse your children. And surprise, surprise, guess where it comes from? The old TikTok. In case you are unfamiliar, a family RV channel is essentially a vlog involving a family on wheels. Now, I don't agree with family vlogs to begin with. I think they're completely immoral. But you can double down that I don't believe with family RV channels because they're immoral and abusive. Let me show you a clip of one of these said channels doing a tour of their lovely home on wheels. And then I'll quite happily tell you why I think they're bad people.
We're a family of 4 and we've been living in this RV and traveling full-time since October 2020. This is part 1 of setting up our campsite and back in. The kids sit at this dinette while we're driving down the road, and this is what the RV looks like with our slides closed. As you can see, there's not that much room, so we open the slides up. The kitchen and living room slide, the bunk bed slide, and the bedroom slide. And while we're traveling, we keep all of our breakable items on our bed and couch, so the kids and I will return everything back to where it belongs.
Let's start with the obvious, shall we? This is no way a family should be living. I don't care what cultural, race, or creed you come from. I think we can all collectively agree, unless of course you're a traveler, that living in a motorhome with your family so close-knit would be a nightmare. Looking back at my own experience of being 12, I would feel more bad for my family in that shared space. Because every chance I'd get, there'd be the slapping of flesh somewhere in that house. Mom and dad might be having a lovely time sat in the front, driving along, and sister singing Kumbaya. I'll be in the bathroom on the verge of tears going, what is wrong with me? I keep sinning. God will never forgive me. I promise, Lord. I promise I'll stop. After this one, where is a young man or woman meant to get privacy? I can stand. A female? Oh, God, you've had it. You can't drop a DJ set stood up. And that's my number one grief, privacy. The kids in this van do not have their own room. Neither does 99.9% of these RV families. The parents have a queen-size bed where they could spread their ass cheeks out, fart about, and watch TV in the comfort of their own space. The kids have to live with their other cellmate in their prison room and have no access to any form of privacy. They can't talk on the phone. Not that they would need to, because they wouldn't be able to make friends. I'll get to that in a minute. They can't slap their meat in peace, like I mentioned. They can't spread out in their own space. And they sure as hell can't do anything in it because they're living in a weird loft space. Do you genuinely think if you put a gun to this child's head and you said, listen, you have a choice between living in a moderately sized home with your own room or living in a metal coffin that slides down the highway, what would they choose? Which brings me to point 2. The parents are selfish. There is a vast list of pros and cons to van lifestyle, with the one pro being you get to see the country and experience every inch of this beautiful land together. And the cons being the kids get no proper education because they get homeschooled. They are unable to make friends. They are unable to socialize face to face for long periods of time. They have to give up all of their rights to their space, and they will develop an unhealthy codependence on you as the parents and their siblings. So who is this van lifestyle really benefiting? Is it benefiting the small developing child, or is it benefiting the sad old people who didn't live their youth properly and are now forcing their kids to go through it with them? Selfish pricks who deserve a big fat smack. Well, I mean, we could have just stayed in a house at least until our children are 18 and go off to college because we're Yanks, and then traveled around the country because that's what would have been best for our kids. But nope. Me and my partner decided that we're gonna take him with us. Like, if you're gonna do this, don't have kids and do it. Or have kids and wait till they're out of your stable home and then do it. Then you're guilt-free to frolic around the world, get naked, and do acid with a bunch of strangers. It's like these people have no no common sense. You have to think back to when you were a child. What would you prefer? And you'd be bold-faced lying to me if you were telling me you wouldn't rather just stay in one spot. Or even alternatively, you could do this once a month on school breaks. One big month out of the year, you travel around. See as many sights as you can as a family in that RV. And then when you retire, take it on the road with you and your husband. Don't subject them to your bullshit. Because of what you're putting them through, they're gonna miss out on all of these precious childhood experiences. Which brings me to my next point, socialization. When you are young, there is nothing more important than interacting with other people. There are some experiences that almost every human shares. The first time you fall down, scrape your knee while riding bicycles. You do that with friends. The first time you learn to play a sport. You do that with friends. The first time you kiss your sister. I suppose you could do that in the van, but it's better with friends. Your kids will have not one, not two, but 0 stable friendships. They will be unable to properly establish social norms because they're used to just interacting with their family. And every time they make a friend at whatever location you stop at, you're just gonna disappear in a week. Never to be seen again, never able to form a proper bond. That child is gonna grow up incredibly lonely and incredibly socially inept. Because yeah, our families we can talk to, but we can't learn how to actually talk with them. If I'm in a friend group and I say something awkward or cringy, I'm gonna get my asshole flamed to death. I learn to adjust my social cues, and I'll learn to know the difference between what is appropriate and what is not appropriate to say to friends and lovers. Someone who just grows up around their hillbilly family won't be able to learn any of that. It is invaluable how much we need to learn of strangers, how their minds operate, how they talk, how they converse, and what they're interested in. Your family will have a similar mindset. They are their own people, but you all grew up in a similar environment. You need that diversity as a human, and you simply will not get it in a van. You could maybe make friends on Discord, but in my opinion, Discord friends, they are friends, please calm down. I don't want you to have an ADHD meltdown or some crap, but they're not real friends. Interacting with someone over a screen and over voice is not the same as interacting with someone face to face. It is a completely different experience, and a vital one at that for young children. And van life parents, you have stripped that right away from your kids. You've given them no privacy, you've brought them along for your selfish little excursion, and you've made it impossible for them to socialize properly. As for the education, that can go either one of two ways. It is entirely possible to get a good home education, but something tells me van lifestyles aren't really focused so much on that. More that they're living in the moment and c'est la vie. So I won't hold it against you, because I just don't think it's compelling enough a reason to deter people from doing this absolutely abhorrent. No, goddammit, that's not a cool word. I need a thesaurus, hang on. Ooh, substandard, that's good. Substandard and inefficient lifestyle for proper development of a child. Hats in the air? Suck me nub. Look, at the end of the day, every parent has the right to choose the destiny of their child. But to be blunt with you, this is not the right destiny. And you might be saying to yourself as a breeder, or even as a regular person, who are you to decide what someone can do with their children? And who are you to say what is appropriate and what is not? You haven't experienced it. Well, that's where you guys are wrong. This might come as a shock to you, but I am a father. I have proudly abandoned 3 of my children. But if I was going to raise them, it definitely wouldn't be in a van. I'm definitely not going to Her Majesty's Court of Paternity. This is not a confession that those things are mine. This is just an example. But having said all that, if this is a lifestyle that you are considering and have children, simply do not do it. Your first responsibility as a parent is to make sure that those kids are raised correctly. And there is no shot of them being raised correctly on the open road. Wait until they're gone and you're retired. It's your job to do what's best for them. And what's best for you watching this video right now is to legally subscribe to Dino on YouTube. I got other cuck to do. It was nice chatting to you lot again. I'll see you later, Bruce. Love you all. Bye-bye.